playwright wrote, "To love yourself is the beginning of a lifelong romance. As certain as death and taxes is the certainty that you will be your own companion until you die. There is no other person or living thing that will have that privilege. It makes perfect sense then to love yourself." A couple of years ago, I was having a conversation with Susan. Susan has a wonderfully authentic personality. You know, the kind who never has an opinion that she cannot share? I was telling Susan about how much I wanted to pack into my son's life. As a type A, I had even set goals like we would travel to 18 countries by the time he turned 18. I told her my time with him was limited, for soon he would be off to university. Susan listened. And then she asked, "Sharon, why do you have such low self-esteem?" I was startled, but she was right. Why did I think that when my son went off, he would no longer need me? He would deem me irrelevant. He would forget me. Tonight, I want to shuffle your thinking about what opens up for you when you love yourself. And I will do this by sharing what has opened up for me. To get things out of the way, self-love is not narcissistic. It is not me, like a baby who cannot see past the need for food, or to drool, or to poo. Self-love is not me first, like a toddler throwing tantrums. Self-love is an attitude. It is a way of perceiving the world from a place of deep happiness within you. Self-love means that you accept yourself, warts and all, and that you are squeezing every last drop from every day of your life. Some of you are wondering, so what? Why should I care? You should care because self-love is not innate. It is not inevitable. It is always, but always your choice. If you do not choose self-love, you will slowly die. And I cannot better the words of the poet Martha Medeiros when she said, "You die slowly when you are unhappy at work, or do not follow a dream that keeps you awake. You die slowly when you pass your days complaining, or do not find grace within yourself. You die slowly when you do not travel, or do not read, or do not listen to music. You die slowly when you do not remember that there is more to life than just breathing. When you choose self-love, every day is a day to celebrate being alive. Like it is a miracle, a new day has dawned. You count the ways that you experience joy, or the number of times you answer the question, "Why are you so happy?" You marinate in the love when a friend tells you, "Thank you for being a big plus in my life." You know that feeling when you first drove your car? Or when you got that job promotion? Or when you found that 500 bob note scrunched up in your pocket that you had forgotten about? Or as a teenage girl, when the boy you like tells you he likes you back. Those are good feelings, and that is what self-love feels like. My lesson in self-love showed up for me as a parent. I worried about using the stick because didn't CNN tell me I could smack the gray matter out of his brain? I worried about offering too many carrots. Wouldn't he turn orange? And I worried, did that 40% in English mean that I let him play too much? And the guilt when I had to say no and other parents had said yes. And I worried, would my son blame me for not providing him with a two-parent home like his friends? When the student is ready, the master appears, and my master turned out to be Diggy. Who? My childhood friend since we were 6 years old. Diggy had just read Chris and Kerry Sook's book, 1 Month to Live, and she wanted my support in carrying out 30 challenges. One challenge was, if you had 30 days to live, what would you do? What would you do? I knew what I would do. I would wear a bikini to soak up the sun while sipping on mocktails on a beach in Barbados, Bahamas, or Mauritius. So why hadn't I? Diggy is a consultant in the spa industry, and she had to ask herself, why was she telling people how to run spas and not running her own? In 2016, Diggy's Spa opened, and in 2015, yours truly went on her island holiday. How do we feel? For the men in this room, I will use car metaphors. We feel like we are living life at full throttle. To carry on with the car analogy, we feel like we're pressing the pedal to the metal. Not to belabor the point, but just to bring it home. We feel like we are firing on all cylinders. Who the heck knows what we will do now? But as long as Diggy and I are marching to our own rhythm, the more musical our legacies shall be. Susan's question forced me to face my own self-rejection as a single parent. Nowadays, when I say I want to travel to 18 countries with my son, what I mean is I want us to have adventures that will last our lifetime. Like the time I made him eat cheese fondue. For weeks, he told everyone I made him eat cheese with alcohol. Or the first time that we played together in the ocean or rode our first roller coaster. Or that time in the forest lodge when I opened the cupboard and a squirrel jumped out, scaring the life out of me. He laughed for days. Or that heartbreaking time when the airport police confiscated his brand new toy gun. Traveling, it's not easy. I have had to give up so much. I had to give up worrying about having sufficient leave days. I always do. I had to give up worrying about keeping up with my work commitments. I always have. I had to give up worrying about the wisdom of saving for travel rather than rainy days. It hasn't rained. And I had to give up worrying about what family, friends, and you think about my choices. I had to reach dangerously awesome levels of self-love. Turns out, Miss Tina Turner, self-love has everything to do with it. Something special happened a couple of weeks ago. My son showed me a video by the vlogger Superwoman, who has 8 million subscribers. She was talking about types of parents, and my son wanted me to know that I am a cool cat. I'm beyond proud. Is my life perfect? No. There's lots that I'm changing. But I do enjoy seeing the world, and I share my joy with my boy. If from my example he chooses to love himself, then he will be who he is perfectly. He will stay within his own integrity, and he will navigate life with dignity. Alan Watts' philosopher asks, are you living your life the way that you want? Are you doing what you really want to do? Are you spending your days as you desire, with whom you desire? If you can answer yes, 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 and yes, then you understand self-love. Congratulations. If you answer no, Alan Watts would eloquently tell you, that's stupid. Think about it this way. You are always with yourself, right? Then it wasn't rhetoric when Buddha said, you, yourself, as much as anybody else in the entire universe, deserve your own love and affection.